to ask the Honourable Minister of Health and Quality of Life whether, in regard to the renal dialysis service, he will state if he is aware that there have been numerous recurring complaints concerning the service provided thereat, and if so, indicate if he has taken cognizance thereof, and B, met members of the Renal Disease Patients Association in relation thereto.
Madam Speaker, my ministry has not received any representation so far from the Renal Disease Patient Association. However, I thank the leader of the opposition for giving me the opportunity to shed light on the renal dialysis service of my ministry. In fact, dialysis service is provided in all 5 regional hospitals as well as at Suyak Hospital and Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Rotwick. The service is also provided in 7 private centers, namely Oram, City Clinic, Nephron Dialysis Center, National Dialysis Center, Chistis Shifa Clinic, and funding from my ministry for patients. At present, 148 dialysis machines are in service in public hospital, and 75 dialysis machines are in use in the private sector. Around 980 patients are undergoing dialysis in the hospital, and nearly 380 in the private sector. Patients undergo 3 dialysis sessions per week on an average. The number of patients undergoing dialysis has increased from 970 in 2012 to 1,363 up to March 2018. The policy of the ministry is to expand further the dialysis service in the public hospital in order to accommodate all patients requiring dialysis treatment in the future without having recourse to private clinics. In this respect, my ministry is expanding the dialysis service by setting up a second new dialysis unit at G2 Hospital with an additional 26 dialysis machines. This new unit, which will cater for about 150 more patients, is expected to be operational early next year after the installation of water treatment plant. In addition, a new dialysis unit equipped with 20 dialysis machines is expected to be operational at Long Mountain Hospital as from next year. The dialysis unit at SSR NH will be expanded, and preliminary drawing are being finalized. We are planning to procure 75 new dialysis machines early next year, 20, as I mentioned, for Long Mountain, and the remaining for replacement of all machines in the different hospitals. May I also add that we are getting 20 more new machines as donation from a private organization from India. I'm informed that treatment of dialysis is sometimes residual in case of breakdown of machine. However, arrangements are made for treatment of patients on the same day as far as possible. I hasten to add that my ministry has a maintenance contract for the servicing and repairs of dialysis machines with Chemtech and IBL. My ministry has recently procured 60 new dialysis machines, out of which 34 will be replacing old one, and as I mentioned, 26 have been earmarked for a second dialysis unit at G2 Hospital. Representation have been received from patients regarding transport facilities provided by ambulance service of the public hospital. Sometimes patients have to wait for a long time for pickup and return after dialysis. My ministry provides transport facilities to and from hospital for about 90% of patients on dialysis. I have to inform the House that my ministry is procuring 11 new ambulances to remedy the situation. The new ambulances will be delivered in December 2018. It has been reported to me that some patients undergo dialysis quite late in the evening. This happens on rare occasions when private clinics and dialysis centers are not able to provide the service due to temporary technical problems. In addition, I wish to inform the House that regular inspections are being carried out at private clinics by officers of my ministry to ensure quality of service. In 2017, a private dialysis center situated in the north had to stop operation and the patient was shifted to SSR and H hospital. Madam Speaker, I wish to assure the House that my ministry is continuously improving the service provided for dialysis patients.
Madam Speaker, the Honourable Minister will agree that the risk of infection is very, very high, and hygiene conditions are extremely important. Has he received any complaint? Is he even aware of the appalling state of hygiene at SSR Hemodialysis Center? And I took pictures myself, and I'd like someone to bring that to the Minister, and I would like him to give me his opinion on these pictures, which I took myself this morning and yesterday, and you tell me whether this is fit for humans to do dialysis there. It is filthy. If you can.
I agree, Madam. I agree that you can have a problem. Infection is very important as far as patients are concerned. But that's a problem is not, I must say, not just in the dialysis unit. There is a problem of general maintenance in the hospital. I take the point. And that's why I have been working how to improve the overall cleanliness in the hospital. I know the problem. In fact, we have discussed it as a ministry. We are trying to reorganize the service, the administration in the hospital to look at all the service, cleanliness, food, and all this.
Question whether he would like to make a comment to the pictures I'm giving him just at this moment, and whether, having seen the pictures, he will give a public apology to all the patients who are using that center. Please, can you have a look at the pictures?
No, come on. I've explained to you the situation as it is. I'm explaining to you. I've explained to you the problem. I know the problem. I'm aware of the problem. You're trying to find solution for this.
Minister is refusing to look at the obvious, because I think he's ashamed of the state of the SSR Hemodialysis Center. Even the toilets, Madam Speaker, are filthy. I would like to ask an old minister whether he doesn't have a few hundred rupees to buy even toilet paper for the toilet there. Can he give the assurance to the nation that tonight there will be toilet paper, at least in the toilets there?
I know you have been going around visiting the toilet. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you. I appreciate that. But this picture doesn't mention that the toilet is in that particular place. I don't know. It doesn't mention it's there. That's one thing. But I repeat it. I know about the problem of cleanliness in the hospital, and we are working on it. Actually, this has been going on not just now, for the last maybe 50 years. So we are working on it, so you can rest assured on that.
No toilet paper, Madam Speaker. I'd like to ask the Honourable Minister, how are the patients are going to wipe their bums there at SSR Hospital?
I think you can advise him about them yourself.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to ask the Minister. It's okay, it's all right. Your patients are taking note of what you're saying. Everything I'm saying is true. People are taking note of what you're saying, of your callous attitude towards it. This is callous attitude. People are taking note. People are taking note. And I hope they will not vote for you again. Madam Speaker, I'd like to ask, in terms of hygiene, why, in terms of hygiene, I'll try and keep calm, why the staff there, it's international, maybe the Deputy Prime Minister can help. He uses the private service avec raison. Now, why the people? No, if a senior minister doesn't use your service, it means a lot. It means a lot. Madam Speaker, I'd like to ask why the staff there don't wear gloves. Why the staff there have no protective footwear. Why the staff there don't use masks as is international practice in that hospital I went to yesterday, Madam Speaker. Germs must be everywhere. Why don't they use basic? Are you lacking a few hundred rupees to buy these masks and this protective equipment?
I remember, I'm just wondering, Madam Speaker, when you was the Minister of Finance, did you provide the money to buy paper for toilet papers? Did you provide to buy toilet papers? That's one. As far as these measures are concerned, these should be taken by the staff over there. It's not a question of we don't have 100 rupees. You should know better. You know better. You know better, I'm sure. As far as a few hundred rupees, we have it. If the staff doesn't use it, it's not my fault.
Speaker, it was better and it is getting worse. And try to blame him what happens. He cannot even agree with his predecessor. Half the things that his predecessor did, he reversed. Madam Speaker, I'm going now to also going to ask the Honourable Minister to find a few hundred rupees, 1,000 rupees to buy air conditioners because these air conditioners are not working. Madam Speaker, I come to another serious issue concerning infection. Infection. It is the practice in some hospitals for the waiting list of about 4 months to have the fistula installed. And people keep on using catheters. And everybody can tell you that catheters are far more infectious than fistula. Why is the waiting list so long? And that has all been in the paper. It's not new. Had you read the papers, you would have known what questions I would have asked. Why are fistula operations taking up to 4 months and people in the meantime can die of septicemia?
Madam Speaker, we have a waiting list, I agree, for fistulas because we have only one vascular surgeon in Mauritius. That's why we have a long waiting list. And as far, to answer your previous question, as far as mask and gloves is concerned, they are provided to the unit. That's number one. If you went to visit yesterday and one air conditioner is not working, you did not see about the rest of the aircon were working.
No, they're always breaking down, and your staff are not using because you probably have never been there. You are sitting in your office and trying to play clever. Madam Speaker, I'd like to ask the Honourable Minister, these erythropoietin injections, there was a question before as to why they are not available in private clinics for public sector patients. Are you going to make a commitment to have these injections available at the private clinics so that patients don't have to come a 4th time? They already go 3 times for dialysis. They have to come a 4th time for that injection. Seems to be something simple. Why isn't it done?
Madam Speaker, erythropoietin injection, if you are not careful with it, it can disappear from the hospital, it can be disappeared from the clinic, it can be used where it should not be used, for athlete and for horse racing. That's why you have to be strict, we have to be careful with the erythropoietin, because some people make bad use, some people doesn't make proper use of it. That's why it is controlled. That's why we give it in the hospital. The patient, I know those who are in the private clinic would have to come to the hospital. This is for security purposes. We don't want erythropoietin to be going left, right, center all across the island, and we don't know what use is being made of it. That's why we ask the patient to come to the hospital so that we can have a proper control of erythropoietin. I'm sure you should know that.
Speaker, private clients of private clinics get it, and only the danger is only for public clients, public sector clients in private clinics. That doesn't make sense to me, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, come to this issue of the number of nephrologists. I think there must be 4 or 5, according to yourself, about 10% of the population suffers from kidney disease. You said that in this House. What are the efforts that you are making? Let me put it positively, this question. What are the efforts that you are making to increase the number of kidney specialists, if I put it this way, in Mauritius from 4 or 5 to a decent number, given the huge number of people suffering?
At present, we have about 5 nephrologists in the service. We have. And we are arranging with Marseille to send our doctors for training in Marseille. We have been talking with them, we have been discussing with them, so that we can send our doctors to be trained there. That's the situation we are.
How long is your discussion going to take place, if I may ask?
Well, we have started. It takes time. Unfortunately, you know that it doesn't. We can't do it overnight. It takes this time. You have to contact the universities there. They have to agree, and then we send our student for training. And unfortunately, it does take time.
Buying toilet paper takes a lot of time. Madam Speaker, the law on organ transplant, again something which is taking time, was passed and voted in this House 6 months ago, in May. It still hasn't been promulgated. I'd like to know from the Minister, when is the law, although I had my qualms about it, but it's been passed now, when will the law be promulgated? What has happened to the doctors who are meant to go to Marseille for 1 year training?
Firstly, as far as the tissue transplant bill is concerned, what's happening is that I don't want to do the same things that happened in 2006. In 2006, the bill was passed, the board was set up, and nothing was done. Since 2006, nothing has been done for the last 10 years. I don't want to repeat the same mistake. What we have done, we have set up, we have got it, we have passed the bill, and we have been in contact with people overseas because, to set up transplant unit, it's not just, you don't set it overnight like that. You have a lot of regulation to do. And we don't have that experience in Mauritius. We are in contact. We are in contact with two professors, Professor Fatih Mahmoud and Professor Phillips from Guy's Hospital in UK. In fact, we were supposed to have a Skype conference on the 1st of November, just a few days ago. But unfortunately, so we're busy, it has been postponed till the end of November. So we are working on it, because it's not something we can just do like that. We don't have the experience. We have to use people who are very experienced in this field to set up this unit. That's why it takes a bit of time.
My question was, what happened to the two doctors who you've said it himself in this house many times, who were meant to go to Marseille for training 1 year? Where are they? Are they still here? Have they gone to Marseille? What has happened to them?
Unfortunately, they have not gone to Marseille yet because that arrangement has not been done. So far, it has not been possible to send them to Marseille.
When will they go so that they can start the transplants?
Even if they go tomorrow with a transplant, what is tomorrow? Is a transplant, we are sending patients overseas. Even if we can't do the operation in Mauritius, since we started last year, we have sent, we are sending all the patients who need transplant, we are sending them overseas, pending our doctors coming to Mauritius.
It's always been the case that people have been overseas. Nothing new. When are you going to send the doctors? You passed a law, emergency, it was passed very quickly. When? Can I finish?
As I explain, okay.
When are you going to send the doctors for the 1 year training so that you can start your trial? Is this a difficult question?
It's not a difficult question, but you don't seem to understand. It doesn't depend just on the Minister of Health. It depends on the University of Marseille as well. It does not just depend on us only. You don't seem to understand that.
So you have no idea. Madam Speaker, when you're going to send the doctors. Madam Speaker, we all know that one of the major causes of kidney failure is diabetes. Now, and if the diabetes is well taken care of, then people avoid this terrible thing of kidney failure and etc., dialysis, etc. What concretely are you doing to ensure that you will reduce the number of sufferers diabetics who actually end up in kidney failure? You said yourself, I think it is 40% of these people are going to end up under the machine.
Diabetes, non-communicable disease, is a major problem. I've said it so many times. I agree it's a major problem. But a lot of work are being done on diabetes, on non-communicable disease. A lot of prevention campaigns are being done. And at the hospital, campaign is being done. In the community, as a workplace, it's being done different places. That's number one. As far as the treatment are concerned as well, even that, we are looking at the whole treatment. We are trying to decentralize. Because what's happening before? Before, the patient used to go to the hospital. Seen by a doctor, there you are, continue the same medication, come back in 6 months' time. And that's why we get a lot of problem with that. What I'm trying to do now, I'm trying to have smaller groups. The patients are being decentralized to the area health centers, where we're going to have a smaller group. They can be seen by a multidisciplinary team. That is a diabetic doctor who is in charge, the community health physician, diabetic nurse, so that they can take care of this patient. And we can have better and strict control on the diabetes. That's the way we are going to improve it. We have 200,000 patients with diabetes. I can't do it overnight. It takes time to organize the service. It takes time, and we have been doing it. It takes time to organize the service. And then gradually, with proper care, then you are going to decrease the problem of renal failure in diabetes.
Given the huge problem, the feeling generally is that not enough at all is being done to sensitize people. Madam Speaker, I'd like to ask the Honourable Minister, concerning dialysis machines at ICU centers. There's apparently, at least in the north, SSR hospital in the north, no dialysis machine at the ICU ward there. That means that anybody who is in the ICU, therefore is very badly ill, has to be taken by ambulance to the dialysis center, which is away, and does his dialysis there. Is it a big problem to install a dialysis machine like you have at Welkin, etc., in the ICU center, in the ICU wards around Mauritius?
Madam Speaker, that would depend on the doctors looking in the ICU. If the doctor has asked for dialysis unit, we would have provided. If the doctor has not asked for it, that's why it's not there. It depends on the specialists working in these centers. Zero. No, just listen to you. You listen as well. You listen as well. Okay? There you are. It's mentioned there. SSR has a hemodialysis filtration machine in ICU. It's mentioned there. There you are. I've taken the paper, I've told you, and you don't want to listen. You're shaking your head.
Speaker, he is mistaken. I've checked again this morning. SSR hospital has a mobile dialysis, so-called dialysis unit, that doesn't do the same work, and your people should tell you that they don't do the same work. They only take out the water. They don't take out anything else. You go and check, otherwise it will be on the paper Saturday if you don't correct your information just now. They don't have the information. Madam Speaker, I'm going to ask the Honourable Minister to please ensure that a proper, I said please, because we are talking about many thousands of people who are sick and in the ICU dying, that they should have a proper dialysis machine. Let the Minister of Health hear, a proper dialysis machine that can do the job, and patients don't have to be transported to the... please ensure that this is done if ever your information is wrong, which I think it is.
It's mentioned that a hemofiltration machine is there, but I'll check with them again. That's what's the papers, that's what the information have been sent. I'm going to check on it, obviously.
Thank you for checking. I think you have been misinformed. Madam Speaker, I'd like to ask the Honourable Minister a few things. The very frequent breakdown, we have some time today. We have very frequent breakdown in the machines. Everyone would tell you this. They are sitting there and the machine breaks down. Now, with these new machines, are these old machines going to be all gotten rid of? Some are 18 years old. We were talking about taxi Bruce. We can replace 8 billion rupees for an unnecessary electrical generator at whatever it is, but we can't repair machines that cost a few 100,000 rupees, which are 18 years old. Have I got your assurance that within 1 year, all these old machines will be replaced at the dialysis centers?
Madam Speaker, we have about 250 machines in the dialysis machine, and out of which about 20 machines are less than 15, or actually, sorry, more than 15 years old. And now, this year we have bought about 60 dialysis machines. It is here, but only the problem is that, and 20 is for G2 hospital, and the rest are being distributed in all the hospitals. And G2 hospital is not operational because I'm just waiting for a water pipe which is going to come soon, hopefully beginning of the new year. That's number one. So 60 new machines. Imagine we have about 250. 60 we have bought now. 70 we are going to, in the pipeline now. And 20 we are getting from India. So we are going to get 150 machines. So it's not a question that we are not planning. We are planning. We know the problem. And we are planning and we are working on it.
I hope, okay, fair enough, but you don't play with words. 54 machines are more than 14 years old. Maybe so many are more than 15, but let's not play with words. Madam Speaker, I'd like to ask the Honourable Minister, going back to this famous centre, SSR Hemodialysis Centre in Pamplemousse. These people are there being drugged. There's no fire certificate. It doesn't have a fire certificate, that building. Are you going to tell us again that there's been no fire? Or are you going to look at the fact that there should be a fire certificate? We know there's no hygiene. We know it is filthy. Now there's no fire certificate.
Madam Speaker, as far as the life of this machine are concerned, the life of this machine is about 12 to 15 years. That's why I use the 15 years. Okay? Now, let me tell you as well, because this government, which has not been done for so many years, is coming up with a program to renew, to renovate our hospital, to build new hospital. You have talked, let me talk please. Four projects, 4 new hospitals are offering. 4 new hospitals are coming. The NT is coming, the Cancer Hospital, the Flag Hospital, the ICE Hospital. And we are working on the master plan for Victoria and for SSR. I know SSR has been there for the last 50 years. You were in the government. Did you think about it? Nothing. Victoria has been there for 70 years. You've been in the government for 10 years. Did you do anything? No, you did not think. And you're blaming us to do magic overnight. I can't do magic. I don't do magic overnight. But we have been working, and we have got 4 projects in line, 4 new hospitals coming, and working on the 2 master plan as well. So we are aware of the problem, and we are doing something about it.
I agree with the Deputy Prime Minister who has given you a certificate d'incompetence by paying a huge sum of money every week. I can tell you the amount that it costs. Huge sum of money every month for a private clinic because he has given you a certificate d'incompetence. Can I ask the Honourable Minister, in regard to private institutions where they receive public clients from the Ministry of Health, how often, you may not know, how often are there checks, I hope surprise checks there, and how often is the quality of water, etc., checked, especially since there have been a few problems recently? Can you tell us whether since the issue of the city clinic there have been more frequent checks? Have you beefed up your team? What are you doing?
The checks are done regularly, Madam Speaker. Checks for water quality are done, for bacteriology is done every month, and for electrolytes, for heavy metal, electrolytes are done every 3 months. So checks are being done regularly, Madam, in these clinics.
Okay. Honorable Bhagwan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are discussing an issue which is very important, and I'm sure those suffering from the renal problems, especially those attending hospital for dialysis, know exactly quel cauchemar ils sont en train de vivre. Can I ask Honourable Minister, apart from what he has said, investment, plans, foreign assistance, what he intends to do through his officers, at least to make an appeal to the officers, to treat those attending hospitals for dialysis purposes, at least be treated as human beings. There is a real problem for those attending the hospitals.
Honorable Bhagwan.
I'm just, let me complete, ma'am. It's a very important
Look,
issue. I am a...
Please, yes. Please, Honorable Bhagwan. Honorable Bhagwan, please. Please be seated. Resume your seat. Honorable Bhagwan, we have 2 minutes. I want to give the opportunity to some other MLAs also to intervene. So I want you to be concise and accurate in your question. I hope the Minister has already understood your question. What is your question? Can you be concise?
I'll be concise. Can the Minister, apart from what he's doing, give instructions, have an emergency meeting with officers, at least to attend to the daily cauchemar of all these patients attending the hospitals for care?
I'm sorry, Madam Speaker, to hear about the cauchemar. That's the Honourable member went through. Look, I do my work. I know. I do my work. I can assure you about that. Yeah. But as far as staff are concerned, I always now. As far as staff are concerned, I always speak. I've always.
Please calm down.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I don't want that.
Order. I will have to suspend. Order. Please, calm down. Please. I have to remind all parliamentarians that remarks from a sitting position is not allowed, is completely out of order. Honorable Leader of Opposition, I'm sorry, you have only 1 minute left.
Speaker, I think what the Honourable Member just before me said is quite true. The facts are that the people using the dialysis machines are not treated in a hygienic way. They are not giving dignity. No toilet paper, for instance. Everything there is terrible in the way they are treated. They are picked up early in the morning by too few ambulances, and they return late at night in a very tired state. The whole situation, Madam Speaker, stinks of délaissement, of not caring. So I would ask the Honourable Minister, if he is a doctor, if he will now, having taken note of this, of the feeling of the National Assembly, not look at this situation very, very seriously, and let's hope that with his intervention, forget the machines, everybody can buy machines, that with his intervention, the service will continue to improve from now on.
Madam Speaker, I've explained about what we are doing to improve the service. I've explained about the machine, about the problems that they are getting, about the transport. I've explained 90% of the patient get transport from the hospital. No, and sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy to provide that, because sometimes one patient, in one ambulance you can put only one patient or two patients. That's why other patients would have to wait. I mean, I know the problem. That's why, because imagine yourself, if you have 10 patients waiting, you have one patient who is on his stretcher, need to be put in the ambulance, others would have to wait. But despite that, we are buying other ambulances, 11 new ambulances we are buying. And despite what has been said by the Leader of the Opposition, Madam Speaker, I would like to, just to read a bit a letter I received on the 24th of October. For you nothing. Oh, yes. Listen, you have talk. Let me just talk.
Please, no comments from a sitting position, I've said. It's out of order. Please be quick, because...
Yeah, a letter addressed to me on the 24th of October. Dear sir, on behalf of all the dialysis patients, and on my own behalf, as a dialysis unit at GNH, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to you and the government of the Republic of Mauritius